Morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. And I'm going to say that until I know for sure that I am actually live because today I'm using my Facebook Live interface. And this is new for me because I've been using my phone, I've been using StreamYard, I've been using a couple other tools to go online, but I decided that I'm going to try and use Facebook directly and see how it works. And I believe I am live. Anyway, it is 8:05-ish in my neck of the woods in the city of my choice, which is Atlanta, Georgia. It is 3 p.m. in Nairobi, the city of my birth, and it is 3 p.m. in Kisumu, the city of my ancestors. And I'm so glad to be back and recognizing how much I actually enjoy my life in Atlanta. Sometimes you've got to be away from it to miss it. And I guess I have missed my little life. I have missed being on Facebook Live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday morning at 8 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and at 9 a.m. on Saturdays. And part of the reason that I'm so eager to be back today is because I wanted to share some of the lessons that I learned from retreating from my regular routine. And my regular routine is one of those where I feel like sometimes I do not appreciate it as much as I should. And I am now learning that it is important for me to appreciate it and be thankful for it more than I know. And I'm looking around because I'm using a new interface and trying to make sure that everything is going as it should. And yes, that is correct. Everything is going as it should. And number one, I have gotten to realize even more than ever. I think I talk about gratitude, thanksgiving, and appreciation more than anything else. Simply because I know Thanksgiving is one of the things that ensures that the spiritual part of you gets heightened, so that you can start to see all the physical things that are happening in your life, whether it is you're enjoying family, or your family is growing, or maybe you have a new work gig, an assignment coming up that you start to love. I mean, it could be a bunch of things, but I'm now realizing even more after being away from my regular routine that Thanksgiving is something that I definitely want to heighten. I want to increase it because I know that when I was moving so fast in the last couple of weeks, I kind of got soft on Thanksgiving, and I'm finding that I'm feeling a little depleted, inconsistent with that feeling of power that I normally have. And therefore, that is not the number one thing that I learned, is that Thanksgiving will continue to be on the top of my list. And I want to encourage you to use it as a tool for acknowledging where you are, and just continue to know that if you do not see uh, anything that looks to you like the harvest, understand that everything that you have is just the seed, and that your job is to plant that seed until you see what you want to see happen, right? So that's number one. Make sure that you're grateful and that you stay on top of that gratitude, because even in the down times, even when you are as low as possible, as low as you think you can go, Thanksgiving is the thing that will lift you up and enable you to see the source, the source that is the most important, the source of all things that come into your life, right? So that's number one, gratitude. Number two, you might be doing too much. And I'm not talking to you, I am talking to myself on that one. Another thing that I recognized as I was retreating from my routine in the last few weeks is that I have too much going on, too much scheduled, too much planned, and sometimes I get to miss the moments. And those moments are so important. And I can no longer do that, because I recognize that when I look at the data of the things that are successful, I know exactly where I should go. But when I ignore the data, I try to do every single thing, because what's starting to happen is what my spirit says I should do and what the data shows is working are aligned. But my fear, the fear that overcomes me when I start to drift back into the feeling of lack, when, especially when you're moving to the next level of your life, is what makes you realize that you are completely losing focus on what you should be doing, right? And so for me, one of the things that I'm going to do in the next few months is ensure that as I prepare for 2023, and yes, I'm talking about 2023 and 2022 is not even over. As I prepare for 2023, I want to make sure that what I'm carrying with me into 2023 is exactly what I should be working on, as opposed to what I am afraid of losing. Those are two different things. What you're afraid of losing and what you should be working on are two completely different things. What you're afraid of losing is something that is good, but does not have a huge impact on the desire of your life or the impact that you want to make, right? That is the thing that you fear losing, right? The thing that you should be doing is usually something, and it could be as irrational as can be, but you have that clear gut feeling, that clear feeling that you should be going in that direction, even though you cannot see how it'll happen, right? And I think that's exactly what everyone moving to the next phase of their existence, the next phase of the work that you do, the next phase of the lives of your children, the next phase, whatever it is that you're working on, if you're moving to your next, you've got to lose the thing that you're afraid of, the thing that you're afraid of losing, right? And just know that sometimes taking that risk to narrow and be laser focused on the thing that you should be doing is exactly what must happen for you to move onto that next level, right? And then number 3, the other thing that I learned is that I must learn to communicate what I need without feeling like I'm bothering people, right? That is the one thing that I feel needs extreme development in my life. I'm extremely self-sufficient. I can do a lot of things. Excuse me. I can do a lot of things on my own. But should I be doing a lot of things on my own? That's a question that I've got to ask. Should I be doing a lot of things on my own? Now, I know, of course, the answer is no, because everybody needs help at some point. But phrasing the questions, phrasing the requests that I have is something that I intend to focus on and work on to the point where I can ask for what I need. In addition to that, I'm recognizing that the way I might be asking to help people might not be helpful to them, right? I'm asking open-ended questions like, what can I do for you? And that doesn't help. I'm recognizing that that doesn't help. What I should ask is specifically, for example, if a friend is struggling with something, I say, I have time to go to the grocery store when I'm picking up my own stuff. May I pick some items for you? That is helpful. Asking someone who is overwhelmed what they need is not helpful. And it is in needing that I recognize that the questions that I am asking might not be helpful to the people who need my help. So I'm offering these vague and ambiguous opportunities, but they are not helpful to me, right? And so I believe that in streamlining, looking at my whole existence, and I'm talking about my spirit, my mind, my body, my family, my work, and my money, I will be able to see where those changes can happen, right? And just like I said, I am using a new application, and I am just realizing that I have some folks online. Welcome. I'm glad to see all of you today. I'm definitely glad to see all of you today. And yes, I think number one, I see Joanne said delegate, and that has been the number one thing that has been helpful to me. However, here's the interesting thing about delegating, because I think I got some serious help while I was in Kenya. I have a phenomenal team who helps me while I'm in Kenya. But with delegation, you've got to ensure that you are delegating the most important and meaningful things to you. And that goes back to that streamlining. Because people can do things. People can do things for you. But are they the right things? Right? It goes back to peeling that layer even further than just the delegation, which is such an important thing to be able to do, right? But it goes back to knowing for sure if what you really want is what you are delegating. Because when people do work for you, if they're doing work that is not meaningful to you, you will feel like they are wasting your time as well. And so it's this web that I have got to untangle, because it is clear that all the things that I'm doing are not leading me to exactly what my soul desires at this stage in my life. And I know that I am not speaking just for myself. There are many, many people who do stuff, and the season for the things that you are doing has passed. And it is time to move on to the next, especially when people are showing up in your life and offering information that gets you to realize that you should be on a bigger level. You have what it takes to be at your next level. There's no need to continue waiting, right? So definitely, I'm going to be looking at that. And I want to know, as part of this conversation, what do you need to let go? What do you need to leave in your past and move into your future? What is it that must be eliminated in order for you to thrive in your next? That is really what I'm talking about, right? But it's been, I'm glad to be sitting in this chair. I'm glad to be sitting, I'll be sitting in this space for several hours today. My Design Your Life class is ongoing, and they're doing amazingly well. Even those who think they're not doing well should listen to me and know that they're just on the right track, right? But I'll be sitting here for a long time today because I'm catching up. This is what happens when you take time off. You come back and you catch up. And then I'm going to do what a friend of mine does. She just deletes emails that no longer matter. And it's so funny because she says, the people who really have important things waiting in my inbox always write me back and say, hey, is this going to continue, or should we continue working on this? The people who say nothing, that means that stuff wasn't that important. It is so funny the way she does that. I saw her, she did it a few years ago when she said she was deleting thousands of emails. And then again, recently she said she was deleting thousands of emails again. And get over the myth that you'll ever catch up with work, because work is continuous. Just choose the things that mean the most to you, and you'll have a totally different experience, especially if you want to move on to that next level of your life. Anyway, I'm glad to be back, glad to see you guys, and I will talk to you on Thursday morning as well, and then on Saturday. Part of the reason why I'm heads down is because I'm waiting to see all the work that I sent out for I Am Africa. I want to see if it has been done, and then I'll know for sure who else needs to step into my life. But yes, there are pieces that I have farmed out, and I want to make sure that they've been done, and that will happen today. And then I'll give you updates on I Am Africa, because we have 140 women who have paid, are ready and available to sit at the feet of the teachers who will be teaching them. And also, I think this will be much, when you talk about growth, it'll be a demonstration of where we've started and where we are going. Much different event. It's the same and different. Same and there's growth. So make sure that if you still want to buy a ticket, I think you still can. I don't believe we have closed it out yet, but just let me know. If you're interested, you can go to iamafricaatlanta.com because within the next couple of days, once I catch up, everything will be closed because it is that time. I look forward to seeing you and talking a little bit more and learning a little more and seeing what we can do to close out the year with a bang. That's just a human thing where you want to see yourself making progress. And then next year we'll start all over again. But remember, the year might end, but you don't have to end your goals. You can just continue right through. I did that in 2018 and 2019. I repeated my entire goal list from 2018. I repeated in 2019, and 2019 turned out to be the year when I did a lot. I enjoyed being the person that I was supposed to be in that year. And you too can do that. It doesn't mean that you have to end it. So, guys, just remember to be thankful and also to spend time assessing what you need to get rid of, and then just go ahead and do it as best as you possibly can. I will talk to you on Thursday morning at 8 a.m. and then again on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. And for those of you in Design Your Life, I look forward to seeing you. For those of you who are doing different challenges with me, guess what? We're about to resume them. I'm back now, so expect to hear from me soon. I'll talk to you later. Bye.